Alright, so I've been working as much as possible getting this stuff done, so I'm hoping that the truck is done today, minus the VGT controller and oil drain. Nobody has that oil drain for less than like $100, so I'm just gonna order a bundle pack online because I've always had issues with oil drains. So we're heading out there now. We're in the quiet car because the CRV's broke. I want to go over and do a full service before it goes. And basically every vehicle we have is broken right now, all 5 of them. So this needs a power steering pump, the CRV needs a thermostat and an axle, my CRV needs an oil change, and I want to do the transmission fluid and like do the main services and everything since it is sold. And then my truck is just my truck. It needs a transmission. So I'm hoping that we can get the transmission done today, but no promises. But we'll see. We'll see if we get the transmission done today. If we get the tranny done today and the valve springs done today, I lost one, so I'm only going to be able to do the exhaust valve springs, but whatever. I was recommended to do that at a minimal. I have 11 out of 12 of the springs. I don't know what happened to the one spring. I checked the yard, I checked everything. I remember when I counted them, I put 12 in the box, and I got there and only 11 was there. So I have no clue what would have happened to that other one. It's not in the CRV. So like I said, we're heading down now. Shermansdale. Somebody buy this engine from me so I can make, I have like $2,000 in the Amazon cart for the white truck as of now, and I'm not even done. Like I'm getting everything, basically like everything down to the hitches, down to the lights. Let's see, you know, the little things that I can throw at it that I can get on Amazon, I'm buying. Fire extinguisher mount, we got triangles, like things like that, so to make it legal. Yeah, so Amazon, that's where I'm going with all that stuff. I'm just gonna hit order once we get some stuff sold and then get back to work. So it'll probably realistically be like, I wanna start this project after February. I think February, like right after, like right around once all this legal stuff is over with, that's when I wanna start this project and just start throwing a shitload of parts at it. So be patient, we will get that built. We'll get the black truck on the road today, if not, sometime early tomorrow. And yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to pull a transmission. What, it's a couple bell bolts, and we're not swapping the clutch or anything, so it's like it's a couple bell bolts and a drive shaft and a shifter. Like, how hard can that be? So, let's get it. Appreciate you guys. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so we are working in here. I think my timing pin's broken on the back of the motor because I cannot, for the life of me, I wonder if you guys will be able to see back there. I can't, for the life of me, get this thing to go to TDC, so I had to use the old, I actually marked my crank, so I know exactly where TDC's at. So, if you guys look, like when I go to move these valves, they only move a little bit, so it's hitting the top of the piston, so I can do 1 and 6 right now. But, since I only have 11 of the valve springs, we're only going to do the exhaust side, which is the side I was told was recommended doing anyway. I would love to do all 12 of them, that was the plan, but since I don't know what happened to one of them, so I was recommended, at the bare minimal, do the exhaust, and it'll be fine. You're not going to have any VGT issues and whatnot, so yes, it would be nice to have the intake side, but no, we're not going to do the intake side. So. Well, that's one done. Sucks that it's only the exhaust, but you know, what can we do? So, let's see. Find my tool here and breaker free. We'll do our valve adjustment. So, apparently, valve adjustments are required every 40,000 miles. Meanwhile, I didn't think that it was, I didn't know that, and that's according, saw it somewhere, so we're gonna have to do valve adjustments more often, I think. So I definitely feel like there's power to be made with doing the valve adjustment. So, but we're at TDC right now, so we'll get these valves adjusted and get this head stud retorqued. We can do 1 and 6 right now. So yeah, let's get this done. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 done. We're gonna rotate the engine again to do these. So it's actually not too bad. Once these are both up, one's about to go down, pull it back a little bit, and then boom. So this one's tight here. So, and then I'll do my valve adjustment and we'll go from there. But yeah, everything's super simple. So these two are the easiest ones out of all of them. These two are easy, those two are not. These two should be easy, so. Well, here's the old exhaust springs, and these are going right in the scrap pile because we're never gonna use them again. And knowing what I know now, I am pretty much just gonna buy, every time I get an engine, just do head studs, valve springs, and all the whole 9 yards the second I get a new engine, every single time. So let's go take these over here and throw them right in the scrap pile where they belong. Where they belong. All right, everything is done. See if she fires. She's not cracking any lines either. I do not know what you guys saw and what you didn't, because the GoPro kind of died halfway through a start, but it started right up at some point. Hopefully the audio at least caught for it, but yeah, we definitely lost the footage for that. But starts up, no throttle needed. Now we're gonna get the transmission pulled, which is down here. So let's get this drive shaft dropped and go to the bell bolts. So it's funny, when I fired this thing up earlier, I meant to just like get it to go over the initial first crank. Yeah, meant to get it to go through the first initial crank and just like give me like one quick puff so I knew it started. And I just lightly tapped the throttle, and then it decided, all right, well, we start, and now I had to get in the truck and actually shut it off, and it's like, that's not what I meant to do. But I had all the injector lines empty. Everybody's saying, oh, you need to bleed and crack the lines on a 12 valve, and you really don't. If you have a really good starter, ain't nobody got time for that. Just send it with the starter. It'll start eventually. If it's not gonna start, well, I don't know what to tell you. You probably have a defective truck. So we're working on getting the transmission out now. My custom drive shaft is down there just chilling. I got the oil draining now. This was all stuff from the old truck. You can see dead bugs and whatnot, so neat. So yeah, draining the fluid, put that back in, and then we'll get the bell bolts out, get the jack, we'll get the cross member off, and I want to get this thing dropped for like the next half hour, so pardon me for not filming and whatnot, but yeah. All right, here's the fluid for the old trans. You can see all the metal shavings in that thing. So this is gonna go dump in our little fuel thing over there, and this is gonna go in the fuel tank because we have a fuel filter that'll actually catch those metal shavings, and then I'm gonna burn it. So that's how we're gonna do it. That fluid is not reusable. I have 6 good quarts of the synchro mesh over here. I swear by this stuff. I've been running this in my NV5600 forever. My NV5600 died it was actually 547,000 miles. So I'm not gonna complain if a transmission out of a Dodge lasts over 500,000 miles. I think we did something right. So could it last longer? Probably. It was giving me weird signs. I still drove it, but not a big deal. Probably should have changed the fluid prior, but again, not a big deal. All right, well, tranny's ready to come out. Let's see if this turns into a cluster. A fun time or not. Ugh. So, just gonna set you guys right there with a light. All right, back at it with the O'Reilly's clutch. Yeah, I'd say everything looks good here. I feel like deja vu right now. I could like work on literally anything. There's like back of the head. If you're gonna do a fleece coolant bypass, now would be the time to do it. So you got your 2 bolt holes there and whatnot. One day I'll do it, but you can see literally everything up there. So I'm gonna get this new trans swapped in, and we will be driving home today in this thing. So I'm kind of excited for that. So here's the old trans. You guys can hear how crunchy it is. This is actually how my transmission and even Justin's transmission sounded like this. And I thought that was odd, but it was still a running, driving tranny. Then you come over to this one, not a sound at all. Smooth through every gear. This one is crunchy through every gear, so. And actually this is in neutral right now too, and it's brutal. So whatever, we'll get this one rebuilt. Slap this one in real quick. All right, so we have literally one jack in the shop. What we're doing here is we got ratchet straps mounted up on the frame, and that's what we're gonna use to pick up the transmission. And then what I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna slowly start working my way with boards. That way, if the transmission were to fall, or say one of these were to break, because we have plenty of these, if any of that were to happen, it would land on this, and it would be a nice, soft, straight landing. So that's what I'm trying to do now, and just need to get the back high enough to get this under it, then I'll loosen the strap and redo it. So, yeah, this is the shit show we're dealing with today. All right, look at this. This is about to be the sound of success. Come on. It's so ready. Come on. Oh, it's not doing it. Oh, I can't get it to do it. Trying to wiggle it. Dude, it's like right there. It is in as much as possible. I just gotta start throwing some bolts in. So let's do that real quick. I just swapped the transmission by myself with a little bit of ingenuity. See, we got the straps here pulling the transmission towards the engine. And then I had 2 belly straps. Got the belly straps, put them up on 3 boards. And while it was up on 3 boards, moved the jack out of the way, put the cross member up. Kind of proud of myself right now because I did this with the only help that I had was getting the transmission under the truck. It was the only help I had. So everything else was me. And wow, did I do that pretty quick. So I'm happy with that. Just know if you ever need to change a transmission on the side of the highway, all you need is 4 ratchet straps and a couple of big 4x4 blocks. All right, transmission is back in fully, not too. All right, so again, sorry about the black lines with all this, working on getting a new camera, yada yada. So this is all done, other than I gotta throw some fluids in it. Pretty dang dirty for what it is, but it needs the shifter and all 6 quarts of the Pennzoil synchro mesh, and then this thing is good to drive. And the reason I waited to do this last was because I knew if I put the transmission in and I decided to go drive it, I would end up probably blowing a head gasket with how aggressively this thing is. 0 plate, 18 degrees of timing, VGT turbo. All of that together is just a recipe for disaster. So it's like I wanted to get all the stuff done first, because knowing that it's not drivable, I'm not going to go and try to drive it and blow it up. So now that the head studs, the valve springs, and all the other BS is done, I can go drive this thing. So, hey Liam, you forgot to get the boards out. I got him fetching tools and everything. So I'm going to get the Pennzoil synchro mesh in here and we'll go from there. Yeah, Liam, everything needs to be out so that we can drive this. We also need to do some stuff with this stuff here. So I need to go to the storage unit tonight. And yeah, so it's gonna be a fun night. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually more excited about that white truck than I am this one, not gonna lie. So I wanna get this truck done as much as possible, so that way when I start working on the white truck, I'm not worried about this truck at all. So I think that's what's gonna happen, and that truck is gonna be more so the dedicated work truck, as opposed to I love this truck, but I really want to try out the 2-wheel drive and the lightweight, because that truck is probably going to weigh like 1,000 pounds lighter than this one, just because of it not being 4-wheel drive. So I'm dumping my 6 quarts in through the top right here. That's how every one of them you're supposed to do it, because you can't, the fill hole isn't enough. So you got to put that 6 quart in to keep the main bearings cool. And yeah, so that's just from my experience. And a lot of guys on the forums will tell you that stuff too. People are like, oh yeah, cut the nubs off the top and dump it in. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know what you do? Yeet. Grab a bottle, get up in here, rip this whole thing off. Don't even worry about none of it. Just take that whole thing and just gluggle a thug. See if I can get the boy. Well, moment of truth, see if we forgot anything. I make sure up under here I didn't forget anything. All the bell bolts are tight. We got these tight, that's tight. Should be good to fire this thing. Let's make sure. Throw it in reverse, see if we have our reverse lights. Let's make sure they both work. Yes, they do. All right, well, let's see if it starts. Not gonna touch anything to do with, not gonna touch the accelerator at all, just gonna crank. Go see if we have any leaks. Nothing yet. I gotta clean the back out, but I'm gonna shut this thing off with the wrench. All right, she is sitting up there, idling away, getting warmed up. All I gotta do, like, is power steering, but it's full, so I'm probably just gonna drive it as is and just let it do its thing on the way home. But it is, yeah, the power steering's full. I checked it to try to add more fluid, and I'm gonna keep fluid with me so I can fill it tonight when I get home. Grab the GoPro battery, and we should be good, but that's pretty much, you know, gonna do it. And hopefully we have a good experience trip home. That transmission is so much smoother than any of the other transmissions I've ever had. So and I've said it a bunch of times, but that's how I feel. So just sitting up there whistling. I'm gonna, hopefully on the way home, it doesn't try to keep kicking itself into exhaust brake. It tried to kick itself out earlier, so I'm thinking we should be all right, but I'll try to film some of that on my way out. But yeah, basically we have 1 out of 5 vehicles that I own and a trailer. This is the only thing that's not broken. So trailer needs front brakes and middle tires. At least we have 1 working vehicle. What do you think? You like the sound of it? I think sounds awesome. All right, so it keeps wanting to shove itself. You guys can see that. It kept wanting to shove itself into exhaust brake like the second I'd accelerate. So there's holes for the exhaust brake side and the other side. And I'll just put a self-tapper in it just to get me home while we're making the controller. So now it shouldn't keep trying to kick itself into exhaust brake. So. All right, well, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I'm noticing a couple of little issues that I think we can get buttoned up tomorrow. The truck won't rev past 2,700 for some reason, sometimes 2,500. It just feels like it's bogging, like it feels like the turbo's in exhaust brake, but it's fully open, so I don't know what's going on there. I remember running this turbo before and it didn't feel like that. So I don't know. I'm going to check into that. And other than that, bleeding the power steering, I definitely need to do that. But other than that, the transmission is absolutely awesome. So good transmission. Yeah, so super happy with that. Other than that, Liam, did you have fun on the way home?
Yeah.
So love it. Appreciate you guys for stopping around. See you in the next video. Bye.